This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today on Share the Vision, we're going to talk about an autism awareness event that will occur at a very special place in the immediate Jamestown area in the not-too-distant future. Steve Watterson joins me to preview this program today. He is, as you well know, the Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Steve, good morning.
Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I have carefully tried not to say where this is coming from so the listeners could think about the ambient noise. Here, I'll play it for you for a second. And then maybe you want to tell where we're broadcasting from today.
Why, we're broadcasting from the Chautauqua Mall.
Right in the center of Chautauqua Mall and right in front of the giant Easter Bunny. Oh, no, that's Kevin Antna.
Ouch.
No, he was just standing in front of the giant Easter Bunny. What are we doing here today, Steve Watterson?
We're going to be talking about our second annual Autism Awareness event that we're partnering with the mall in doing. We did one last April, because April is Autism Awareness Month, and we had such a fantastic event that we said, let's do this again, but we'll make it bigger and better and offer even more activities. So that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday morning, April 15th, the day before Easter.
So just approval really at the mall. Here comes Nancy Ingram,
Yes.
former Assistant Executive Director at the Resource Center.
Yeah, I bet Nancy'd love to be on the air, wouldn't she?
Now, Nancy's going to take a pass. Now, but you're walking over, so we'll say hello to Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. How are you, Dennis?
Fine. We're here to promote the Autism Awareness event that's coming in a
Yes.
week or so here.
That's what Steve told me. I ran into him earlier, so.
Oh, he's everywhere, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So am I.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you. You know Kevin, of course.
I know Kevin.
Yeah.
I know Steve. I know you. I'm not sure.
Cindy.
Cindy,
He's
hi.
the marketing manager here at Chautauqua Mall.
Nice to meet
You
you.
introduce yourselves. I'm
That's
going to go
okay.
speak to Kevin Anderson, who is the Assistant Director for Employment and Community-Based Services at the Resource Center. Kevin, hello.
Hello, Dennis. How are you?
Steve ouched a little bit, but I was trying to make a little friendly, funny reference there about the Easter Bunny, and we're right here where the bunny sits and the people sit for pictures.
I'd say the bunny's a little bigger than I am, but
But
and
you
the
have
bunny's far cuter than I am.
but you have the best smile.
Aw, thanks.
And now to Autism Awareness. What happened here last year? Let's give it a little history. This is the second year of this event, as Steve says. What happened here last year that caused you to want to come back?
Last year, the mall approached us, and we decided to do an autism awareness event. And we had representation from our Medicaid Service Coordination Department, as well as our Saturday Respite Program. And we were just doing some things about autism awareness. We had a really fun obstacle course, which will be coming back for this year. Home Depot joined us last year and had a kids activity where they made little bird feeders. Home Depot will be coming back to join us this year. So it was just a really good turnout. We had a lot of kids from our Saturday Respite Program that came, and hoping to make it bigger and better this year.
Tell me why autism awareness is important to you as someone who works at TRC in your role as the Assistant Director in the area of Employment and Community-Based Services. Why should we stop and think about this during the month of April, Kevin?
I think that a big portion of it is the fact that the numbers for autism keep going up. And back in the early 70s, they thought it was 1 in 1,000, I believe. And the most recent research has that 1 in every 68 kids is diagnosed with autism. So it's definitely a growing diagnosis, and I think it's good for people to understand all the complexities of autism as they may encounter people, families that have an autistic child.
I'm glad you used that word complexities, because if I were to sort of naively ask you at this point in the program, what is autism, the question is not easily answered.
It is not an easy question to answer, and actually there's a very large spectrum for people who are diagnosed with autism and on the spectrum. Probably the biggest clue that you would have that somebody has autism is they have difficulty with social interactions. But you could meet somebody with autism and you'd have no idea that they're diagnosed with it, because that's just what their portion of autism is very small and very minor. There's some statistics that there are more boys than girls that are diagnosed with autism. Some people speculate that that is because girls learn to adapt socially easier, and they feel that peer pressure to adapt, and so therefore they may not just be diagnosed even though they may have it. But it is it is believed that boys do have the diagnosis more than females do, or girls.
We're going to get back to the event here in just a moment, but we've gotten to an interesting place here. So I want to pursue this just a little further with you and ask this question. What should we be aware of in terms of not only observing the potential for autism in our own young children, but awareness of persons on the spectrum, as it is sometimes said, and how they fit into the rest of society, our understanding of autism culturally? Kevin, can we broaden this out to that for a moment?
Yeah, I guess I would just like to state that I am not a physician and I do not have any true background in diagnosing autism, but I think that most of the things that will happen when you potentially come across somebody with autism, they may be nonverbal, so they may not be able to speak to you, and so if somebody's not responding to you, it might not be that they're rude, it's just that they don't have the ability to use words. A lot of times that leads to other things as well. I mean, kids with autism can often get frustrated with social interactions and social things because they can't express their feelings and their emotions, and so they find other ways to do that. So, some families may have experienced somebody who's having a very difficult time, and it could be physical and it could be emotional while they're out in a store. It could be that they're not interacting well with other kids at school. So to be aware of it, I think, makes it a little bit easier for families who are experiencing those difficulties and look at it in a different light.
Would you be so kind as to take a minute and talk to me about your autism awareness? Because you are clearly very aware about autism, its effect on people, its the amount of it that we are dealing with in our society and in our world today. What is Kevin's autism awareness story?
Mine really comes through the Resource Center. We have a couple of different programs that I've been involved in. Since I started with the Resource Center roughly 10 years ago, I had some people that I was supporting that were diagnosed with autism. And I think some people that weren't ever diagnosed with autism but definitely have some tendencies and probably fall on the spectrum were just never diagnosed. In my current role, we have a couple of different programs. Our Success program, which is a social skills program, is probably the most in-depth as far as autism goes. And so I've had a great opportunity to interact with some kids who are diagnosed with autism, and that program is designed to teach them some social skills that they may be lacking or having difficulty with.
Let's get back to your event. I'm tempted to ask even more follow-up questions as a result of your insight and experience, Kevin, but we are here to promote an event that is happening on Saturday, April 15th. We speak to you from the center of the Center Concourse at Chautauqua Mall. Cindy Johnson, Marketing Director, will be on with us here in just a couple of minutes to talk about this event and other things at the mall. But further information, further detail about what's going to be happening here and the time period for it all on Saturday, April 15th.
The actual Autism Event is going to be running from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock and will be located mostly in the center of the mall, not far from the Easter Bunny. We are doing it in conjunction with an event that the mall is doing for the first time, but I will let Cindy talk about that. As I said earlier, we've expanded a little bit of the number of display tables and activities that are going to be going on. CASIC will be here, and they will be having an information table for families.
Chautauqua Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Council.
Correct, thank you. And we'll also be having our Kids X, or actually Chautauqua Mall's Kid X program is going to be having a table where they'll be doing a scavenger hunt around the mall, and I'm sure Cindy will talk a little bit more about that. As I said, we'll have the obstacle course, which our Saturday Respite program will be doing, which is based off a little bit of the Train Like an Astronaut NASA program. TRC will also be hosting an interactive art project table for kids to take part in. We'll have some information tables regarding early diagnosis and service coordination for people who may be looking for services and maybe have a family member who has autism. Home Depot will be back with us. And we have a couple other people that are still we're waiting on an answer for, but we'll hopefully have a couple more tables as well.
Who would you like to have come? Who would be most important for you to see participating in this event?
I think it's a combination of families and children that have autism and adults, because I think it's a great interactive time for them to get together. And also anyone in the community who doesn't really understand what autism is about, to come out and get some information and maybe have a better understanding of it and interact and meet some people that do have autism.
Kevin, I'll be back with you and Steve Watterson in just a few minutes. We're broadcasting Share the Vision today from Chautauqua Mall. Cindy Johnson is the Marketing Director here. Cindy, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, nice to have you back on the air.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
There's a lot of things to talk about always at the mall, but let's start with April 15th. And Kevin teased out something there for us a moment ago, that the Autism Awareness Event is happening in conjunction with something that you are doing. What is your something that day?
We're actually going to incorporate a mall-wide Easter egg hunt, so it's going to be climate-controlled inside of the mall. Starting at 8:30 a.m., we have over 6,000 pieces of candy and Easter eggs, and we have prizes for age groups. We have 4 age groups, 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, and 10 to 12. Those age groups have an opportunity to find that special egg and be a part of the awards that we give out at the end of the event. But it'll be fun for the family, so hopefully everybody comes out, and it's free. So that's
Any
always
pre-registration needed?
Nope.
Everybody can just come here. And again, we're talking about Saturday, April 15th. You'd like people here by 8:30 or a little earlier?
Correct. If they want to start coming at 8:15 a.m., then they can get situated with where the age groups are going to be located. We will have the age groups posted outside of each mall entrance to show families where they go. We'll have representatives on site to help communicate those locations as well.
So you'll be doing each hunt in a little different area of the expanse of the mall here.
Yes, every age group will have a section. The entire mall will be filled with candy and Easter eggs.
I was just looking down the concourses here and wondering how you're going to hide Easter eggs in this place. Maybe that's none of my business, but I'm just curious.
Well, we'll have a mix of some. You know, you go to Easter egg hunts and you do see eggs out in the middle of the lawn mixed in with some of the candies as well. But the special eggs may be hidden in other locations, but I won't tell you those secrets.
Mm-hmm. That's as far as I could get, folks. I was working on it, but that's all Cindy's going to give me. Kevin Anderson from the Resource Center mentioned that the genesis of the idea for an autism awareness event started with you here at the mall a year ago. Recall that thought process for us, Cindy, in terms of how you came to create that first event last year and now repeating it this year.
Yeah, well, interesting enough is the landing of Easter, the holiday, and we came across a large abundance of blue Easter eggs, so I reached out to the Resource Center to see if there was something that we could do in partnership with Autism Awareness, because in April it is Autism Awareness Month, so it seemed to go hand in hand, and here we are.
Nice idea. And last year you were here. Tell me your impression of last year's event and how it went, and then we can build on it for this year.
It went very well. We had a lot of interest in the activities. The families had a great time doing the crafts and such, and this year we're blessed to have the component of the Easter Bunny and the Easter egg hunt hand in hand with that, so more families will be able to build their awareness around the autism spectrum, and hopefully it'll be a great turnout.
As I did with Kevin a moment ago, give me a little bit of your autism awareness story. Did it start a year ago here at the mall, or had you had some background, some contact with these statistics, this information at some point previous to that, Cindy?
I do have experience. I have some friends who have children who are diagnosed with autism, and even though day to day you may not see some of the tics and stuff that they experience throughout their days, they do have them, and becoming more aware of what they experience and what to look for helps educate you on how you can interact with them and be aware of the things that may set them off differently from those who don't suffer from autism. So
what I think I heard you just say is that our awareness, our education can help improve the quality of life and social interaction for those on the spectrum if we sort of get it first.
Yes, it's so important, and there's always something to learn, and that's what's exciting about this event, is that it's open to the entire community. Those who do have autism, we have activities for them, but also the community to help learn how they can become more aware of the autism program.
Before we move into some other events and happenings here at Chautauqua Mall, I want to remind the audience we are talking about a pair of events that will be happening here at Chautauqua Mall Saturday, April 15th. And just to run this one more time, Cindy, the Easter egg hunt starts at what time?
At 8:30 a.m.
And the Autism Awareness event will run from when to when?
10 a.m. until 12 p.m.
Let us set aside the conversation about autism awareness and your Easter egg hunt on April 15th for a moment. and talk about the mall otherwise. And may I begin with this question. Why do you have a giant Easter bunny that we're standing right in front of here at Chautauqua Mall? Cindy Johnson.
Well, families love to look at the large Easter bunny, but we are really excited for the Easter bunny to arrive Friday, April 7th. He'll be here from 4 until 7, and you can get a photo with the Easter bunny throughout the weekend. Photography by Wendy is our photographer who provides the professional photos on site. We also will have pet photos coming up Sunday, April 9th from 6:30 to 7:30, so we invite you and your little furry pets to come to the mall and get their photos taken with the Easter bunny. And then the following weekend, we'll have the Easter bunny here for the Easter egg hunt and also the Autism Awareness Event.
Ah, how sweet. Now, we're going to get caught in a little time warp here because we do record Share the Vision in advance, and it actually airs on Saturday. So the Friday we made reference to will actually, as people hear this, be yesterday. But I guess the upshot, the important thing is that the photographer will be here through the weekend.
Yep. She'll be here Saturday. She'll be here from noon until 7. The Easter bunny will break from 3 to 4. Sunday, the Easter bunny will be here noon to 6 and break from 3 to 4 as well. But then we'll return from 6:30 to 7:30 to capture those special moments with your furry friends.
Cindy Johnson, what else is new here at Chautauqua Mall, or will be new, or breaking stories, or exciting things that people may not have heard before that I'd be happy to have you reveal on this program if you want to, if you know what I mean?
One of the exciting things is Planet Fitness is coming in. They're expected to open before summer.
Where will they be?
They will be in the old food court location across from Old Navy. There'll be a 24-hour gym, and right now they're running pre-membership sales, so you can sign up for $1, and you can find that at planetfitness.com, and then your membership will kick in when they get opened in summer of this year.
Any other exciting news that you want to share with us, that you can share with us about things happening at the mall here at the moment?
We have our annual spring fashion show is coming up on Sunday, April 9th. That'll be from 12 until 1, and we do different types of giveaways and stuff for the families that attend. Also, April 22nd and 23rd, we'll have our blood drive in partnership with the American Red Cross. We're looking into incorporating a fun day with their pillowcase program one of those days as well. We are partnering with the Heritage Living location here, and they're going to be doing a coffee and canvas for Mother's Day weekend. We have some ideas to incorporate more activities around that event. That will be announced soon, and the coffee and canvas is scheduled for May 13th from 11 to 1.
I'd like to ask you one other question before we get right back to the Autism Awareness Event and other things happening on the 15th. Kevin Anderson, in our conversation as we were getting ready to get on the air here today, made reference to Kid X, and there's a huge banner down by your office hanging from the ceiling that talks about Kid X. What is Kid X?
Kid X is our new free kids club program. We do different types of activities geared around children 12 and under. We invite kids to come during the activities, and they receive a goodie bag full of coupons and some neat gifts for them to have. But a lot of our programs that we do geared around the Kid X Club is kid-friendly, and all of our activities are free. So during this event specifically for autism awareness, we're going to be doing a scavenger hunt where kids can find the colored puzzle pieces throughout the mall and then come back to the Kid X location for a prize.
I want to correct my inflection of that because I put a little pause in there or something, and I hear how you're saying it. Kid X is the right way to say it.
Kid X, yep.
Kid X.
Yep.
I stand corrected.
K-I-D with a capital X.
Kid X.
Yeah.
And this is Cindy Johnson, Marketing Director here at Chautauqua Mall. Cindy, thank you for your time, your interest in autism awareness, and your information about all the other programs here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I'm going to go back and recap this for those who are joining us later in the program in just a moment. We're talking about special events here at Chautauqua Mall from which we are speaking today, recorded in advance, Share the Vision, with Steve Watterson is here. He's the Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Steve, I want to give you an opportunity to do what Kevin and Cindy already have, and that is a little bit of Steve Watterson's story of autism awareness.
Well, we being the Resource Center have always been involved with providing supports to people on the autism spectrum, as we provide supports to anybody with a disability. We will be doing our 8th annual Step Up for Autism celebration this year on September 30th. and that, of course, is held down at our administrative offices at the old Celeron School. So people that come to our event at the mall can pick up some information on that. But, it's interesting. I had a friend in town a couple weeks ago who I hadn't seen in probably 15 years, and she was in town because her son was playing on a hockey team in a tournament for kids with special needs. And she was telling me that although she had known her son was on the autism spectrum for years, she hadn't actually got him officially diagnosed till he was 12 years old. So there are some advantages to having your child diagnosed and identified as being on the spectrum early. For one thing, there's some early intervention supports that can be done to help your child along. But also there's access to some services that once you've got that diagnosis, you are able to obtain that you're not necessarily going to have the ability to access those if your child is not diagnosed. And I know that last year there were at least 2 people that came to this event who stopped by and talked to our staff and had set up appointments to come in and have their child screened because they had some suspicions and they just hadn't taken it any farther than that.
Well, there's a little bit sometimes on the part of parents or adults or caring family members that they might know, but they don't want it known, if you know what I mean, that they're a little maybe reluctant to get out and have that diagnosis even if they suspect.
We talked about that before. I think there's also that thought or maybe hope that, my child is just a little delayed developmentally than their peers and that they're going to catch up. And then sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. But if your child does have any sort of a developmental disability, not just autism, and gets diagnosed early and can, again, access those early intervention supports, that's help them out not only with their preschool years but also their school-age years and give them better chance for success going on into adulthood.
And just to clarify this, or to make it evident for the radio listener, and you or Kevin Anderson may speak to this, the real diagnosis of autism is something that is done medically, that is a physician's responsibility? Kevin, I think, is going to take it.
Definitely, you could use your physician. I'm sure a psychologist or psychiatrist could also help you with that diagnosis if that is something that you're looking for.
Medical professional one way or another.
Yes.
Steve Wattersing.
We're just really looking forward to the event. We're glad that it's tied in with the mall's Easter activities that are taking place, so we're anticipating a large crowd of people that day, and we'll have a lot of fun for them. Get here early, because it's gonna be fun. The fun will be happening early, and it all ends at noon, at least in terms of the Autism event. There'll obviously be other things going with the Easter Bunny here all afternoon, but the Autism Awareness events from 10 to 12, and again, our Easter egg hunt at 8:30.
Steve Wattersing, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Now back to Kevin Anderson. We want to recap this, if you missed it earlier in the show. The second annual Autism Awareness event here at Chautauqua Mall is set for Saturday, April 15th. Kevin, Assistant Director for Employment and Community-Based Services, some of the highlights, if you want to repeat them from your perspective this year.
Again, we'll be starting out with the Easter egg hunt, which we're excited to add that element this year. And then we'll also have a couple different interactive booths. We recently talked about the KidX scavenger hunt. We will have a interactive art project that TRC is offering. Home Depot will be here. We will have our obstacle course set up with our Saturday respite program, as well as a lot of information from a couple different organizations within the community.
This is obviously a very youth-oriented event this day in terms of the Easter egg hunt, but the Autism Awareness event is something that anyone of any age could profit from.
Absolutely. In fact, last year we had a family, grandparents whose children and grandchildren are outside the area, but they really wanted to come down because they have a child who has been diagnosed with autism and just wanted to kind of be a part of it. So anyone and everyone is welcome.
Let me say this as we close, Kevin. I always look forward, and there are other occasions during the year in which you have appeared on Share the Vision. You are a very articulate spokesperson on behalf of the Resource Center and many aspects of the work there, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciate having you on the radio.
Well, we appreciate the relationship that we've established with you over the years, and thank you for all that you do.
Very, very kind. Back to finish this program, Share the Vision today, Cindy Johnson, Marketing Director here at Chautauqua Mall. Any particular aspects of Saturday, April 15th that you want to reiterate, to reemphasize for our listeners before we go, Cindy?
The Easter egg hunt starts at 8:30, so we encourage families to be here around 8:15, so you know where each individual age group is going to be located. Again, they'll be split out 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9 and 10 to 12, and there will be locators exterior of each mall entrance and people to communicate and assist as needed. So the Easter egg hunt starts at 8:30. It's free of charge, and can't wait to see you.
Anything special in May or June that you're looking forward to already here at Chautauqua Mall?
May, we do have the Coffee and Canvas with Heritage Living. We're doing a painting, and we're working on other things to incorporate into the fun of Mother's Day weekend that you can come out and spend some time with. June, we have a Recycle the Runway where community members, artistic and appeal, can actually create their own attire to showcase down the runway live on June 4th. And we're partnering with the Infinity Music Program, their arts program. They have some classes going on now that you can sign up for.
What's the best way for people to stay up to date with the things that are happening here at Chautauqua Mall's website, I presume, or some Facebook page?
Yeah, Chautauqua Mall is very active on social media. We have our website, chautauquamall.com, or you can visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with Instagram /Chautauqua Mall, Twitter /Chautauqua Mall, and Facebook.com/Chautauqua Mall.
I should probably come back to Steve and let him do a little plug for the Resource Center's website and other social media contacts, just to be even-handed about this.
Well, yes, our website is resourcecenter.org, and we are on all of the social media channels, so just go ahead and plug us in and you'll find us. I can't remember the addresses off the top of my head.
But
Cindy's better at that than I am.
They're easy to find.
Yes, they better be.
Okay. Cindy, two things to close with you. One, you had 6,000 pieces of candy. You can make it 6,001 because a dear listener, Maria, and I don't know if she's listening, but she might be. We often run into her in the community, long-time listener of WJTN, and she always seems to have chocolate in her purse, and I'd be happy to donate mine back to you. She just gave it to us a few minutes ago before we got on the air here today. So that can be 6,001. And the other somewhat silly thought to finish this, but as we stand here in the middle of Chautauqua Mall and record this right in front of the Easter Bunny, why does it smell so good in this place?
Well, I shall think that it's the aroma from a mix of the Bath & Body Works that's located nearby and also the Yankee Candle that is right behind me as well. So.
That must be what it is, because this is the most pleasantly fragrant place I have been in. And we've stood here for half an hour to do this show, maybe a little longer. So the radio listeners must come to the center of the mall and breathe deeply in order to enjoy that, because we can't share that part of this over the radio. But otherwise, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
To Steve Watterson, to Kevin Anderson, to Cindy Johnson, thank you all for sharing the vision today.